Buddhist lifestyle. The Buddhist way of life has a spiritual basis and is a way of life that can be achieved. Internal peace is its principle, and there is no worry about external peace. Although Asia is the origin of Buddhism, it is best suited for the Western and the busy world in which we live today. Anyone can try it as it has no religious basis. It is truly based on kindness, gratitude, and love. There is great mental healing energy, relaxation, and such potential in that vision. The teachings of the Supreme Buddha help us to examine whether that interpretation is true or false.
Buddhism is by no means a religion. It is by no means a faith. It's an in-depth vision as well as a completely scientific approach. The Buddha did not command anyone and did not force them to accept the path. The path that the Supreme Buddha declared to the world is a completely free and independent path. One who likes it can master it and experience the results, and one who does not like it cannot do it. There is no coercion.
There is a theory that has always existed in the world whether a Buddha descended or not. Because the average person does not know that theory, he is deluded into life and makes up for misery. The misfortune is brought on by no one outside but by the deceived himself. There is a theory that has always existed in the world whether a Buddha descended or not. Because the average person does not know that theory, he is deluded into life and makes up for misery. The misfortune is brought on by no one outside but by the deceived himself.
The Supreme Buddha taught people about the nature of this world. He pointed out that if one understands the nature of this world correctly, one can get rid of the sorrows and pains associated with the world. The world is a deep concept that goes beyond what is physically seen and heard. The Supreme Buddha pointed out that one who correctly recognizes this concept can be free not only from the world but also from sorrow.
The Supreme Buddha taught that the world is based on sorrow. What is grief? It is a universal principle that something evolves from one nature to another. Because everything in the universe is in motion, it is subject to decay, expense, fragmentation, extinction, and destruction. Grief is this reversal. There is nothing in the universe that does not change. Therefore, the Supreme Buddha said that no one should take anything forever. It was also taught that the transformation of this grief into another nature is not something that is done by anyone, but something that happens according to cause and effect. The Dhamma of the Supreme Buddha is based on this theory of cause and effect. Everything in the universe happens for a reason. Something happens, exists, disappears, happens on the theory of cause and effect. So if you are looking for another religion, then that place is not Buddhism. If you are looking for another almighty God, then that place is not Buddhism. Buddhism is only a philosophy of cause and effect based entirely on cosmology.
Buddhism teaches that the creation of all composite things exists in the present and ceases to depend on conditions and causes. According to the philosophy of the Buddha, when the path of arahants is realized, one can be freed from all birth defects and worldly sufferings and make life perfect. The Buddha preached not to look at external things, but to examine one's own mind. Everything arises in the mind. Without consciousness there is no world to know. The world, the animal, the person and the soul are created by the mind in consciousness. Therefore, the Supreme Buddha taught people not to change the world, but to watch their minds work in a changing world. All thoughts are in the mind. The mind is sublime and they are made of the mind. The universe and the world, likes and dislikes, hate and love are created not by external objects but by their own minds. All thoughts are in the mind. If a person speaks or acts with a dirty mind, his deeds will inevitably follow him, as if he were riding a wheel behind an ox's hoof. Both these good and bad intentions are called karma. All the functions of the mind, the word, the body. Every action has its consequences. Those rewards should also be experienced as the rewards of happiness and sorrow.
The Buddha's philosophy, which rejects theism and materialism, is based on a theory of cause and effect. The cause causes the result. Loss of cause leads to loss of effect. The Supreme Buddha preached on the basis of scientific logical proof. Dependent on ignorance arise volitional formations. Dependent on volitional formations arises relinking or rebirth consciousness. Dependent on consciousness arise mentality matter reality. Dependent on mentality matter reality arises the sixfold base. Dependent on the sixfold base arises contact. Dependent on contact arises feeling. Dependent on feeling arises craving. Dependent on craving arises clinging. Dependent on clinging arises becoming. Dependent on becoming arises birth. Dependent on birth arises aging and death, and sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief and despair. Thus there is the arising of this whole mass of suffering.
Buddhism is not accepted by theism and materialism, accepts rebirth. It is similar to seed theory. A tree that grows from a seed and the next generation tree that grows from a seed of that tree conforms to the cause and effect theory. In the same way, man and animal combine the karma associated with reincarnation and move on to the next state. There is not a single living being from existence, and life has been rearranged according to the karma that is being prepared. This philosophy, taught by the Supreme Buddha by combining all the theories of psychology with all the theories of the universe, is by no means a religion. It is a way to heal the mind and get rid of grief. It is possible to heal the existence between life and death by developing a moral mind.
Buddhist lifestyle. The Buddhist way of life has a spiritual basis and is a way of life that can be achieved. Internal peace is its principle, and there is no worry about external peace. Although Asia is the origin of Buddhism, it is best suited for the Western and the busy world in which we live today. Anyone can try it as it has no religious basis. It is truly based on kindness, gratitude, and love. There is great mental healing energy, relaxation, and such potential in that vision. The teachings of the Supreme Buddha help us to examine whether that interpretation is true or false.
Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click on the bell icon to sponsor it.